Disney is completely done with Rachel Zegler and is ready to fire her after this new controversy.
The guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Brett Cooper looks like Snow White in this promo, whereas you can't really say the same thing about Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler might finally be out for good after Disney made the decision to change up the actors before the release of Snow White. With a potential new actor on the horizon, fans are speculating who exactly could take up the role of the new Snow White. Disney is allegedly looking to replace Snow White in the remake, as well as planning to reduce her role in the movie. All of this thanks to Rachel's own doing. According to sources in the industry, because of Rachel's attitude, Disney might have finally had enough since she's not doing anything to garner the sympathy of fans. Because of the movie's predicted failure, Disney has decided to turn things around before they can get any worse. And with the announcement that they are delaying the movie for another year, it's time for them to change things up. Because of the delay, it allows the studio to change quite a lot about the movie. And despite the fact that Rachel has already filmed potentially the entire movie, Disney might be looking at a recast. If the estimated results are as bad as they seem, Disney might see an even bigger loss by releasing the movie as it is, which is why they seem to have decided that the only solution would be to start all over. According to sources, we might be getting a different side of the princess than initially described. One of the main points of this remake was that Snow White would be acting very differently than she did in the original movie. The story was told to be something feminist, where the roles aren't as traditional as they used to be, and Snow White would be saving herself. In fact, it's something that Rachel has been very open about, since she believes that the original movie is incredibly problematic and is a big advocate for the changes made that would cast out the prince. It's one of the reasons that she's been getting so much hate, as people believe that she's been downright disrespectful with the way she's been addressing the source material.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Another reason people have been so skeptical is because of the fact that Rachel seems incredibly rude, going as far as insulting her own co-star just to be diss on the traditional values of the original movie.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Along with her interviews where she's outed herself as never having liked Snow White, Rachel has been a huge concern for fans.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years. When I was doing this.
But it's not just about Rachel being rude in regards to the movie. It actually goes much further than that, as she has also attacked other Disney projects completely unprompted. Rachel has shown how little she cares about the company that has employed her several times over on Twitter when she came for both the Star Wars franchise and the MCU. In one tweet, she decided to make fun of the choices Disney made with bringing back an unexpected Star Wars character, which many fans believe made no sense. What if somehow Palpatine returned? And while this is definitely a shared opinion in the fandom space, and some people even praised her for the tweet, many were quite put off by the fact that she was attacking Disney so openly, especially because her tweet alluded to the fact that Disney makes bad decisions with their source material, which, as some people have pointed out, is the exact same thing that Disney is doing with Snow White. So it seems pretty hypocritical of her. However, this isn't the only time something like this has happened, as Rachel has done it once before when she attacked an actor from the MCU. In a discussion surrounding Jeremy Renner, who plays Hawkeye in the MCU, Rachel decided to make it very obvious how much she hated him, and the fact that he plays the Marvel character. Actually, I think the new Hawkeye should be a trans woman of color to stick it to that racist, sexist, transphobic garbage monster. And it looks like Rachel never learned anything from that instance, since she decided to do it again, which just shows exactly how unwilling to change she is. This is exactly why Disney now looks like they're going to replace her, since they plan on reshooting most of Snow White's scenes. Because the movie is doing reshoots, it's the perfect time for them to go back and fix some of the things they've messed up on. However, because Rachel's role is such a big part of the movie, it's hard to simply have her reshoot scenes. Disney's new plan is to make Snow White seem softer in order to repair the image that Rachel has ruined. But it would be had to do seeing, as it would have to go back on a lot of the things that Rachel has been advocating for. It would be hard for her to have to reshoot things that she's been so against, and it would probably be just as hard for fans to watch knowing that she doesn't mean any of it. This is why Disney's new game plan is to bring in somebody entirely new. According to the source, Disney plans on cutting down Snow White's role by splitting up her character into 2 different actors. We might be seeing a much younger Snow White for some of the movie, as we instead focus more on how cute and innocent Snow White was able to be as a child. That would mean that we would be seeing a different side of the Snow White we've been told we're gonna see, which is less about girl power and more about the innocence of the original movie. This might just be the compromise that Disney needs, and according to sources, they might have already cast a new child actress for the role. According to The Insider, Amelia Faucher might be playing the young Snow White, and she seems absolutely perfect for the role, as she definitely exudes that cute and innocent energy people are looking to see. However, one thing about Amelia is that she doesn't look like Rachel Zegler. This might mean that Disney are very serious about rerouting the movie and replacing the parts that fans are unhappy with, meaning that even Rachel herself will get the boot. This means that Disney are most likely on the lookout for a new actress to play Snow White who looks more like Amelia. And they actually have quite a few options, as fans are convinced that there are several actresses who would be absolutely perfect for the character. One of them is Lucy Hale, who has been very well known for her Snow White looks, not only in the past but also in recent years. With her pale skin and dark hair, Lucy is a textbook Snow White. And not only that, but she's also extremely well beloved by fans, as she's been nothing but respectful and kind her whole career, something which perfectly embodies who Snow White should be. But it's not just about her behavior, as she herself has pointed out the fact that she looks very much like Snow White. She's actually done several Snow White-inspired looks throughout her career, even while on her most well-known show, Pretty Little Liars. In one episode, she seemed to have dressed up exactly like Snow White, as she even wore a blue top with a long skirt and even a red bow in her hair. But she doesn't only do this for roles, as she one day decided to mention exactly how much she looks like Snow White in her daily life, as she put on some red lipstick while sporting her short-cut dark bob. She decided to post a picture along with the caption, "Dressed up like Snow White today," and even made sure to put a red apple emoji to really drive home the message. Fans definitely agreed with her, as they went on to say, "You totally look like Snow White. Great Snow White look, gorgeous. So beautiful, you would make the perfect Snow White." Lucy Hale has actually been a huge contestant for the role even before Rachel Zegler was cast, as many people seem to bring up her name anytime discussions regarding the casting came up. This is why many believe that she could definitely take the job now that Disney is looking to make some major changes. However, she's not the only strong contestant, as there's another person more than qualified for the job. Brett Cooper from the commentary channel The Daily Wire is in the process of filming for a Snow White role of her own, as they decided to take things into their own hands. The Daily Wire's new streaming service Bentkey is all about bringing quality TV to kids, which is why they were more than unhappy with Disney's creative decisions when it came to Snow White. Because of this, they decided to launch their own Snow White movie that is free from politics and that sticks close to the original material. Brett Cooper was then cast to star in the movie, and it's safe to say that she's doing an incredible job at it, and fans are extremely happy to see someone so perfect take up the role. However, now that Disney is going back on their decision, Brett might have a chance of making it to the real deal, since she's able to prove that she has more than enough experience and talent to play the role. If Disney genuinely decides to change things to bring back the original feel of the movie, Brett might be happy to jump on the project, as it's everything she's ever wanted. And it's pretty easy to see the similarities between Amelia Fokker and Brett Cooper, making them the perfect pair to take on the Snow White crown. One of Brett's main goals with her Snow White movie was to make it as propaganda-free as possible, and Disney finally seems to have woken up to what fans really want, as they themselves might be going in the same direction. If they end up casting either of these two actresses along with the rendition of a younger Snow White to save a bit on the amount of scenes they have to reshoot, Disney might actually be making their smartest move yet, and the movie might just end up on top anyways. Who do you guys think Disney should recast for Snow White? Let me know down below, and don't forget to check out this other video for more.